Hello everyone. Welcome back to Divine Ways, your space dedicated to spiritual growth and strengthening your relationship with God. In today's video, we will explore a fundamental topic for our spiritual growth: prayer in the early morning. This is a special time of day where, in the stillness and silence, we can connect more deeply with God, establishing a solid foundation for everything the day holds for us. The purpose of this session is to help you understand the importance of dedicating time to prayer from the start of the day and how this practice can transform your spiritual life. We will analyze the benefits of praying in the early morning, share practical tips to establish this habit, and reflect on why it is essential for us as Christians to follow Jesus' example in this aspect. We want you to feel inspired and equipped to incorporate morning prayer into your daily routine by the end of this video. We want you to discover how this simple act can bring peace, clarity, and strength to your life, allowing you to face challenges with renewed faith and a grateful heart. Additionally, we will share a personal story that illustrates how early morning prayer can be a catalyst for deep spiritual transformation. We believe that by sharing our experiences and knowledge, we can support each other in our spiritual growth and strengthen our faith community. So we invite you to stay with us, open your heart, and allow this time together to inspire you to start each day with a closer connection to God. Let's dive into this journey of early morning prayer and discover together how it can enrich our spiritual life. Inspirational quote and reflection. To begin, I want to share a quote that has been a source of inspiration for many of us. Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place to pray. Mark 1, verse 35. This image of Jesus seeking solitude and stillness to connect with his Father is profoundly revealing and invites us to reflect on our own relationship with God. Jesus, despite having a busy schedule and multiple responsibilities, always found time for prayer. This act not only demonstrates his dependence on God, but also sets a clear example for us about the importance of prioritizing our spiritual life. Detailed analysis of the times Jesus prayed in the early morning. Jesus not only prayed in the early morning in this specific episode, but there are other moments in the Gospels where his habit of seeking God in times of stillness is mentioned. For example, after feeding the 5,000, Jesus withdrew to pray. Matthew 14, verse 23. In the Garden of Gethsemane, before his arrest, Jesus prayed fervently, seeking strength and divine guidance. Matthew 26, verses 36 to 46. These moments highlight the importance of seeking God in times of need and thanksgiving. Early morning prayer was a way to establish a deep and continuous connection with the Father, allowing him to maintain his mission with clarity and purpose. Theological meaning of following his example. By following Jesus' example and praying in the early morning, Christians demonstrate their commitment to a life of devotion and dependence on God. This act of imitation is not just a replica of his actions, but in alignment with his heart and mission. By praying early, we acknowledge the supremacy of our relationship with God and position ourselves to receive his guidance and strength for the day ahead. Comparison with other biblical examples. In addition to Jesus, other biblical characters also practice prayer in moments of stillness and solitude. For example, Moses. He spent long hours in prayer and meditation on Mount Sinai, seeking God's guidance to lead the people of Israel. Daniel. Known for his constant devotion, he prayed 3 times a day, even when facing persecution, demonstrating unwavering faith. David. King David often sought God's presence in the quiet of the morning, writing psalms and reflecting on God's works. These biblical examples emphasize the importance of seeking God in moments of tranquility and solitude, highlighting prayer as an essential practice for a rich and deep spiritual life. Personal application. Following Jesus' example. Following Jesus' example involves making a conscious commitment to start each day in communion with God. This may mean waking up a little earlier than usual to dedicate time to prayer, meditation, and Bible reading. By imitating Jesus, Christians can experience a more balanced life, filled with purpose and divine direction. Impact on daily life. Morning prayer following Jesus' example has a significant impact on our daily lives. It helps us face challenges with a clear mind and a calm heart, maintain a spiritual perspective amidst daily demands, and live a life more aligned with God's will. Conclusion of Jesus Christ's example. Jesus Christ's example shows us that early morning prayer is a fundamental practice for a fulfilling spiritual life. By following his example, Christians demonstrate their commitment to a deep and constant relationship with God, strengthening their faith and obtaining the necessary guidance and strength to live according to divine purposes. Living in dependence on God. Living in dependence on God means recognizing that we cannot manage our lives on our own and that we need his guidance, provision, and strength at all times. Early morning prayer is a practice that reinforces this dependence, reminding us that each day is a gift and an opportunity to serve God. Concept of spiritual dependence. Spiritual dependence is an acknowledgement of our vulnerability and constant need for God. It involves trusting in his provision and guidance, and seeking his presence in every aspect of our lives. Praying in the early morning is a tangible expression of this dependence, as it connects us directly with God from the start of the day, establishing a solid spiritual foundation for everything that follows. How prayer reinforces this dependence. By praying early, we seek God's guidance before the day begins. This act helps us recognize that our strength and wisdom come from him, and that we depend on his direction to face daily challenges. Morning prayer reminds us that we are not alone and that we can trust in God's provision and care in all circumstances. Testimonials of lives transformed by dependence on God. Numerous testimonies from believers reflect how morning prayer has strengthened their dependence on God and transformed their lives. For example, 1. A young professional shared how morning prayer provided him with the necessary strength to overcome a work crisis, trusting in God's guidance to find a new direction in his career. Maria, a family mother, found in morning prayer a way to balance her family and personal responsibilities, trusting that God would give her the wisdom and patience needed to handle each day with grace and strength. Benefits of living in dependence on God. Living in dependence on God through morning prayer offers numerous benefits. Trust in divine provision. By recognizing our dependence on God, we trust that he will provide what is necessary each day. This trust reduces anxiety and allows us to face challenges with a positive and hopeful attitude. Direction and wisdom. Morning prayer provides us with clarity and wisdom to make decisions aligned with God's will. This helps us avoid impulsive mistakes and live a more intentional and meaningful life. Spiritual strength. Dependence on God strengthens our faith and prepares us to face temptations and challenges with spiritual resilience. It gives us the ability to remain steadfast in our faith, even in times of adversity. Humility and gratitude. Recognizing our dependence on God leads to greater humility and gratitude. We appreciate the blessings we receive more and develop a constant attitude of thankfulness. Balance and peace. Living in dependence on God helps us find a balance between our responsibilities and our spiritual life. This contributes to greater inner peace and overall well-being. Conclusion on dependence on God. Early morning prayer is an essential practice for living in dependence on God. By dedicating time early in the day to seek his guidance and strength, we establish a relationship of trust and dependence that sustains us throughout our lives. This dependence not only strengthens our faith, but also provides the necessary direction and peace to live a full life aligned with divine purposes. Spiritual strength. Early morning prayer not only strengthens our faith, but also prepares us spiritually to face daily temptations and challenges. This time of connection with God provides us with the necessary strength and wisdom to remain steadfast in our faith and act according to his will, even in difficult moments. Relationship between prayer and resistance to temptations. Morning prayer strengthens our resistance to temptations by providing us with a solid spiritual foundation. By starting the day in communion with God, we are filled with his Spirit, which helps us discern between right and wrong and make decisions that reflect his will. This constant connection with God gives us the strength to resist the temptations we face throughout the day, knowing that we can turn to Him for help and guidance. Strategies to strengthen faith through prayer. Prayer of protection. Include in your morning prayers requests for protection against temptations and negative influences. Ask God to guide you and keep you firm in your faith throughout the day. Reflection on biblical verses. Meditate on biblical verses that speak about strength, resilience, and faithfulness. These verses can serve as constant reminders of God's promise to be with you and strengthen your spirit. Practice of spiritual discipline. Maintain a regular practice of prayer and Bible study. Spiritual discipline reinforces your faith and prepares you to face trials with an attitude of confidence and resilience. Continuous communication with God. In addition to morning prayer, seek moments throughout the day to maintain continuous communication with God. This can include brief prayers of thanksgiving, supplications, or simply moments of silence to listen to His voice. Support from the faith community. Participate in prayer groups and community activities that strengthen your faith. Support from other believers can provide you with encouragement and additional strength to remain steadfast in your spiritual practice. Biblical and contemporary examples of spiritual strength. The Bible is full of examples of how prayer has strengthened the faith of believers. A notable example is Daniel. Despite facing the threat of being thrown into the lion's den, maintained his constant devotion and prayer. His faith and resilience were rewarded, and God protected him in the midst of adversity. In contemporary times, many believers have shared how morning prayer has provided them with the necessary strength to overcome personal, professional, and spiritual challenges. These testimonies highlight the importance of maintaining a constant connection with God to strengthen our faith and resilience. Conclusion on spiritual strength. Early morning prayer is a powerful tool to strengthen our faith and prepare us spiritually to face daily temptations and challenges. By maintaining a regular practice of morning prayer, we cultivate a deeper connection with God, which provides us with the strength and wisdom needed to live a life aligned with His will. This spiritual strength not only helps us resist temptations, but also empowers us to live more fully and meaningfully, reflecting God's love and grace in all our actions. Community testimony. The practice of praying in the early morning not only has an individual impact, but also strengthens our faith communities. By living a robust spiritual life, we can be a light to others, inspiring and supporting those around us in their own spiritual journeys. Impact of individual prayer on the faith community. When each member of a faith community commits to praying in the early morning, the cumulative effect is powerful. Individual prayer strengthens the collective faith, creating a more united and resilient community. This impact manifests in various ways. Inspiration and example. Seeing others pray in the early morning can inspire community members to adopt similar practices. This positive example fosters a culture of devotion and spiritual commitment. Collective strength. Individual prayer contributes to the collective strength of the community. When each person strengthens their relationship with God, the community as a whole becomes more resilient and capable of facing challenges together. Unity and solidarity. Common practice of prayer creates a sense of unity and solidarity among community members. Sharing prayer experiences and testimonies strengthens spiritual bonds and promotes an environment of mutual support. Shared spiritual energy. The spiritual energy generated by morning prayer radiates to the community, creating an atmosphere of reverence and worship. This shared energy can enrich community gatherings and spiritual activities. How to inspire others to pray in the early morning. Encouraging other community members to adopt the practice of morning prayer can have a significant impact on collective spiritual growth. Here are some strategies to inspire others to pray in the early morning. Share testimonials. Share your experiences and testimonies about how morning prayer has transformed your life. Hearing personal stories can motivate others to adopt the practice. Organize prayer meetings. Organize early morning prayer meetings where community members can gather and pray together. These meetings foster unity and provide a space for sharing and mutual support. Provide resources and guides. Distribute resources such as devotionals, prayer books, and practical guides that facilitate the implementation of morning prayer. These resources can serve as support tools for those starting out. Set prayer challenges. Create prayer challenges that encourage community members to commit to morning prayer for a set period. These challenges can generate enthusiasm and increase participation. Preach on the importance of morning prayer. During services and community meetings, dedicate time to preach about the benefits of morning prayer and how this practice can strengthen both individual lives and the community as a whole. Stories of communities strengthened by collective prayer. Many faith communities have experienced significant transformation by incorporating morning prayer as a common practice. An inspiring example is the New Life Church, where the implementation of early morning prayer meetings has strengthened the unity and faith of its members. Congregants' testimonies highlight how this time of prayer has improved their personal relationships and commitment to the church's mission. Another example is the Hope Prayer Community, which has seen an increase in participation and spiritual commitment among its members since they began praying together in the early morning. This practice has created an environment of love and mutual support, promoting collective spiritual growth and greater community cohesion. Benefits of collective prayer in the faith community. Collective prayer in the early morning offers numerous benefits that enrich the community's spiritual life. Strength and resilience. Collective prayer strengthens the community's resilience, enabling it to face challenges with unified faith and renewed determination. Unity and cohesion. Praying together creates a sense of unity and cohesion among members, promoting a culture of solidarity and mutual support. Inspiration and motivation. Collective prayer inspires and motivates members to maintain their spiritual commitment, fostering greater dedication and passion for their faith. Shared spiritual growth. Joint prayer facilitates shared spiritual growth, where members can learn from each other and grow together in their faith. Atmosphere of peace and serenity. Collective prayer generates an atmosphere of peace and serenity within the community, creating a sacred space where everyone can experience God's presence together. Conclusion of the section. Early morning prayer has a profound impact both individually and communally. By strengthening our faith, providing clarity and direction, and fostering inner peace and spiritual renewal, morning prayer becomes an essential practice for any believer seeking to live a full life aligned with divine purposes. Additionally, by inspiring others and strengthening our faith communities, we contribute to collective spiritual growth, creating an environment of love, unity, and mutual support that reflects God's love in all its forms. 5. Conclusion. Recap of key points. Throughout this extensive spiritual journey, we have explored the importance of early morning prayer and how this practice can significantly transform our spiritual and personal lives. We have analyzed the multiple benefits that come with dedicating time to God from the start of the day, including the strengthening of faith, clarity and direction in our decisions, inner peace and spiritual renewal, as well as personal transformation that allows us to reflect more of Him in our daily lives. Connection with God from the start of the day. Starting the day in communion with God establishes a solid spiritual foundation that guides and strengthens us to face daily challenges. This time of prayer aligns us with His will and prepares us mentally and emotionally for the day ahead. Availability and silence of the early morning. The early hours of the morning offer a quiet environment free from distractions, facilitating a deeper and more meaningful connection with God. This silence allows us to hear His voice and feel His presence more clearly. Spiritual discipline. Establishing the habit of praying in the early morning is a form of spiritual discipline that strengthens our faith and helps us maintain a consistent spiritual routine. Discipline teaches us to persevere and remain committed to our relationship with God, even in times of difficulty. Priority to God. By dedicating time to morning prayer, we are demonstrating that our relationship with God is the most important thing in our lives. This act of devotion prepares us to face the day with a renewed mindset and a grateful heart. Strengthening of faith. Constant prayer keeps us in touch with God, feeding our faith day by day. This strengthening of faith allows us to face uncertainties with unwavering confidence. Clarity and direction. Early morning prayer provides us with clarity and direction for our decisions and actions, ensuring they are aligned with God's purposes for our lives. Inner peace and renewal. Morning prayer is a source of peace that transcends external circumstances, renewing our spirit and filling us with hope to face the day. Personal transformation. Early morning prayer has the power to transform our lives from the inside out, shaping our character and attitudes to reflect more of God in our daily actions. Community testimony. By living a robust spiritual life, we also strengthen our faith communities, inspiring and supporting those around us in their spiritual journeys. Call to action. After thoroughly exploring the benefits and importance of early morning prayer, it is time for you to take action and start incorporating this practice into your daily routine. Here are some practical steps you can follow to begin your journey toward a richer and fuller spiritual life. Commit to a routine change. Decide to wake up 30 minutes earlier each day to dedicate time to morning prayer. Adjust your sleep schedule to ensure you can rest sufficiently and wake up with energy and willingness to pray. Create a sacred space. Designate a specific place in your home where you can pray in peace and without interruptions. Decorate this space with elements that inspire you, such as a Bible, candles, religious images, or any other objects that help you focus on your connection with God. Follow a prayer structure. Use the structure of adoration, confession, thanksgiving, and petition to guide your prayer time. This will help you stay focused and ensure that you are covering all the essential aspects of effective communication with God. Use support tools. Incorporate prayer books, devotionals, spiritual music, and prayer apps to enrich your morning prayer experience. These tools can provide you with inspiration and guidance, helping you deepen your connection with God. Be patient and persevere. Forming a habit of morning prayer can take time, so be patient with yourself. Even if it is challenging at first, keep trying and remember that spiritual transformation is an ongoing process. Seek community support. Share your commitment with friends or members of your faith community who also value morning prayer. Praying together or sharing your experiences can provide you with the support and motivation needed to maintain your practice. Reflect and adjust. Regularly reflect on your morning prayer practice and adjust your routine as necessary. As you grow spiritually, you may want to deepen your prayers or incorporate new practices that enrich your experience. Invitation to start today. I invite you to commit today to start the habit of early morning prayer. You don't need to make drastic changes immediately. Start with small steps and gradually build your morning prayer routine. Observe how your spiritual life strengthens and how your relationship with God deepens as you dedicate time to pray and reflect in the early hours of the day. Remember that every prayer, no matter how small, is a step toward a fuller and more meaningful life. By prioritizing your relationship with God from the start of the day, you equip yourself with the strength, clarity, and peace needed to face any challenge that comes your way. Gratitude and farewell. We want to express our sincerest gratitude for accompanying us on this spiritual journey through early morning prayer. Your dedication and commitment to spiritual growth are an inspiration to all of us at Caminos Divinos. We thank God for His constant presence and guidance in our lives, and for the opportunity to share these moments of prayer and reflection with you. Without His love and mercy, none of this would be possible. We are honored to be part of your faith journey and to offer you resources and teachings that help strengthen your relationship with Him. We encourage you to continue seeking God in every moment of your day, not just in the early morning, but in all facets of your life. Prayer is a powerful tool that connects us with the Father, strengthens our faith, and guides us toward a fuller life aligned with His purposes. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to continue receiving inspiring and educational content that will help you in your spiritual growth. Like this video and share it with your friends and family so that more people can benefit from this message of faith and hope. Your support is invaluable to us and motivates us to keep creating content that enriches your spiritual life. May God bless you immensely. We look forward to seeing you in our upcoming content, where we will continue exploring paths of faith, love, and devotion together. Stay connected, keep your faith strong, and remember that, with God by your side, anything is possible. 6. Credits and additional resources. Before we say goodbye, we want to provide you with a list of biblical references and additional resources that we have mentioned throughout this content. These materials will help you deepen your morning prayer practice and strengthen your spiritual life. Detailed biblical references. Below are the biblical references we have mentioned and their context for a deeper understanding. Mark 1, verse 35. Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place to pray. This verse shows Jesus' dedication to constant prayer, even amidst a busy schedule. It teaches us the importance of seeking moments of solitude and stillness to connect with God. Psalm 5, verse 3. In the morning, Lord, you hear my voice. In the morning I lay my requests before you and wait expectantly. This psalm reflects the psalmist's desire to start the day in communion with God, seeking his guidance and protection from the beginning of the day. Psalm 63, verse 1. You, God, are my God. Earnestly I seek you. I thirst for you. My whole being longs for you, in a dry and parched land where there is no water. It expresses a deep longing for God's presence, highlighting the importance of seeking God with intensity and passion. Matthew 6, verse 6. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father, who is unseen. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. This verse teaches us the importance of private and sincere prayer, in a quiet place free from distractions. Matthew 14, verse 23. After he had dismissed them, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night, he was there alone. Another example of how Jesus sought moments of solitary prayer, reflecting his need for constant connection with the Father. Matthew 26, verses 36 to 46. Jesus' prayer in the Garden of Gethsemane, where he seeks strength and guidance before his arrest, showing his surrender and dependence on God in moments of great anguish. Recommended books and devotionals. To enrich your morning prayer practice, here is a list of recommended books and devotionals that will help you deepen your spiritual life. Por las noches en la madrugada by Carlos Calleja. This book offers reflections and prayers specifically designed to be performed in the early morning. Calleja shares his personal experience and provides a practical guide for those who wish to establish a morning prayer routine. Despertando al Amor de Dios by Charles Stanley, a daily devotional that helps you strengthen your relationship with God from the start of the day. Stanley offers inspiring reflections and prayers that will guide you in your spiritual growth. Como Aprender a Orar en 30 Días by Nancy Lee DeMoss. This book is a step-by-step guide to establishing a consistent prayer practice. DeMoss provides daily exercises and reflections that will help you deepen your connection with God. Oration. Encuentra tu camino a Dios by John Eldredge. Eldredge explores the importance of prayer in the Christian life and provides practical tools to improve your communication with God. La Oración de los Pueblos by Bill Johnson, a book that combines biblical history with contemporary testimonies, demonstrating the power of collective and personal prayer in spiritual transformation. Digital resources and communities. In addition to books and devotionals, there are various digital resources and online communities that can support your morning prayer practice. Prayer apps. Echo Prayer allows you to organize your prayer requests, set reminders, and track your prayers. PrayerMate helps plan and organize your daily prayers, providing specific themes and guides. Online groups and forums. Social networks and virtual communities. Platforms like Facebook and Reddit have groups dedicated to prayer and spiritual growth where you can share your experiences and receive support. Christian forums. Sites like Christian forums offer spaces to discuss faith topics, share prayers, and find prayer partners. Spiritual events and retreats. Participating in spiritual retreats focused on morning prayer can deepen your spiritual practice. These events provide a tranquil and reflective environment, facilitating a deeper connection with God. Spiritual podcasts and videos. Listening to podcasts and watching videos dedicated to prayer and spiritual life can offer you additional inspiration and guidance for your morning practice. YouTube channels like Despertando al Amor de Dios and Vida Cristiana offer enriching content to strengthen your faith. Conclusion of credits and additional resources. We encourage you to explore these resources and integrate them into your morning prayer practice to enrich your spiritual life. Whether through reading inspiring books, using prayer apps, or participating in online faith communities, there are multiple tools available to support you on your spiritual journey. Remember that prayer is a personal and unique practice, so it is important to find the resources that best suit your needs and preferences. Final conclusion. Throughout this extensive journey, we have discovered the profound importance of early morning prayer and how this practice can significantly transform our spiritual and personal lives. By dedicating time to pray from the start of the day, we not only strengthen our connection with God, but also obtain a series of benefits that impact all areas of our existence. Recap of benefits. Strengthening of faith. Constant prayer keeps us in touch with God, feeding our faith and confidence in Him. Clarity and direction. By seeking divine guidance in the early morning, we gain clear direction for our decisions and actions. Inner peace and renewal. Morning prayer provides a source of peace that helps us manage stress and maintain a positive attitude. Personal transformation. Early morning prayer has the power to shape our character and attitudes, reflecting more of God in our daily lives. Community testimony. By living a robust spiritual life, we also strengthen our faith communities, inspiring and supporting others in their spiritual journeys. Practical tips. Physical and mental preparation. Ensure you get enough rest and prepare your body and mind for prayer time. Create a tranquil environment. Establish a sacred space free from distractions where you can pray in peace. Set a fixed schedule. Consistency is key to forming a lasting habit of morning prayer. Prayer structure. Follow a structure that includes adoration, confession, thanksgiving, and petition to stay focused. Use tools. Utilize resources like prayer books, devotionals, and apps to enrich your practice. Persistence and patience. Maintain consistency and patience, understanding that spiritual transformation is an ongoing process. Final reflection. Early morning prayer is more than a routine. It is an invitation to live a full and enriching spiritual life. By starting each day in communion with God, we establish a solid foundation that sustains and guides us every step of our journey. This practice not only improves our relationship with God, but also prepares us to face daily challenges with strong faith, clear minds, and grateful hearts. We invite you to commit today to start this morning prayer habit. Connecting with morning prayer is a living testimony of your faith and dedication to spiritual growth. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the video, and share it with those you believe can benefit from this message. Your support is essential to us and motivates us to continue creating content that enriches your spiritual life. May God bless you immensely. We look forward to seeing you in our upcoming content, where we will continue exploring paths of faith, love, and devotion together. Stay connected, keep your faith strong, and remember that with God by your side, each day is a new opportunity to grow and serve.